Hi, this is Kgadi Mmanakana, also known as Kgadi the Possibilitarian. And today I want to talk to you guys about the importance of being yourself, like staying true to yourself. And I'm actually right now in a state of, it's like I'm overwhelmed, I'm relieved, and it's like all at once. And it's because I am having an aha moment. I was just on my Facebook timeline and I'm searching my posts. I don't know what led me to that. So I started with my post from 2015, right? And I looked at my post and I'm like, that's a whole ball of energy. I'm pumped. I'm so happy. I mean, you could actually even feel my energy through the text. And I was the possibilitarian, right? And the world was my oyster and I'm so excited. And I went to 2016. It's all about that. I'm busy. I'm planting the seed of possibility. That is like the ministry, I'm speaking. I'm just all over, I'm speaking. And that's what I love to do, speaking, doing this, planting that seed of possibility. That is my thing. And I see 2016, I see 2015, 16 and 17 is the same kind of vibe. I am so excited. I'm like, I can feel myself that I'm alive. I'm free and I'm alive, right? And I get to 2018 and things are changing. I can feel the energy changing. It's like the panic is actually even dropping because I can feel that I'm no longer like, Kgadi the Possibilitarian, we're speaking, we can do these things like that. Like it's no longer like that. The energy levels have dropped. And I'm more on a reflective, even in my posts, I'm more on a reflective mode. And I'm trying to think, where was I in 2018? What was happening? Because I'm checking like, oh my goodness, this is something this is different. This is kind of different energy. So I'm trying to trace my steps back. And I realized that 2018 is actually where it all started, right? And this actually will make sense when I say that it is important. Like right now, if there's any part of you that you are hiding, it's not only about hiding your sexuality. It's about a whole lot of other things that you are afraid of facing, that they're actually a part of you. If you're rejecting a part of you, it could be your history, it could be your story, it could be anything that you're hiding or you're rejecting. Just know that you're doing yourself a disservice. You're actually creating blockages in your life and you're holding yourself back because your soul is pure, right? Your soul is pure and you are here on earth to live out loud, to evolve into the most highest and truest expression of yourself. You're here to serve your soul purpose, right? You're here to live your best life. In the other videos, I always say this thing that no one was born to just suffer and die, and that's a fact, right? So you're here to manifest your true self on earth, to show up as you are. And we all know who we are because we connect to ourselves, right? We know our own truth. You can always try to lie to the world, but you know the truth. Right? You always know the truth. It's like knowing, should I do this? Should I not do this? By the time you get there, you already know the truth, what you shouldn't be doing. But sometimes we just do the things that we know that we shouldn't be doing. So those acts of going against yourself, those acts of rejecting parts of you, those acts of hiding parts of you, they're sabotaging you. We need to remember that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, right? And our souls perform. Our souls are at their best. We become at our best if we are fully ourselves, right? So anything that you do, whether it is because somebody said you shouldn't be like that, or anything that you do that is against who you are, anything that you do that causes you to dim your light, anything that you do that goes against your values and principles, that goes against your truth, anything that you do creates a blockage in your life. It holds you back. It becomes some sort of a bad karma. Self-betrayal, self-sabotage, those things you're doing when you go against yourself. Just know that you're holding yourself back. Wait, Oya, you're bewitching yourself, right? So back to the 2018, me in 2018, and like I said, I realized that the energy was coming down in my posts. And when I go back and I realized that that's true, because 2018 was the first time I actually came out to myself. The first time I said out loudly to myself to say, Kgadi, you're gay. And it's time to just be free and be gay. Embrace that part of you. Stop rejecting it. You know, when I was a kid in primary school, I didn't like being called, being short, because there was some stuff that were attached to being short. But with like some actually like self-esteem eroding names just because you're short, right? So I didn't like being short, but I'm short. And I became this isolated kid because people would bully me because I was short, right? And okay, but then I grew up to embrace the fact that I'm short, and I now actually even like the fact that I'm short because, yeah, what do they say about the dynamite and all this kind of stuff? So that is the thing. So now I'm okay with being short, right? And the same way that me being uncomfortable with being short, and now turning to like withdrawing from people and isolating myself and becoming this shy kid and being prone to bullies. That thing, the same way me not being comfortable with being short, the same thing happened with me not being comfortable or not being free with being gay, right? So I knew that I was gay when I was 8 years old. That was in 2003, I think. And I didn't know what that meant, but what that meant in terms of how do I be gay? Like, it's like right now I feel like people are just confusing us. And I'm glad that I took it like a kid, because when I was 8, how it came to me is that, oh, I know that I like girls, right? And no interest for guys, right? I knew that. Oh, and for me it was like, oh, I've never seen it anywhere happening. I don't know of any. I have never seen two girls like being together, being in a relationship or kissing or things like anything like that. So for me it was like, okay, I knew it. So I started being uncomfortable around guys, right? I started also being uncomfortable around girls too, because it was like, okay, what is this thing that is happening? I didn't understand it. So, but then there was a time, I don't know, I didn't even make a conscious decision to say, I'm snapping out of it. I'm not gonna follow it. So I started just being a kid. And then the things that I was not comfortable with, sometimes people say, oh, Monica, here's a 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's why she liked, these are just stereotypes to say, oh, that's why she liked doing things that guys like, or oh, that's why she's like a tomboyish thing. Those are just stereotypes. It has nothing to do with your sexuality or your truth. It had nothing to do with that. Of course, your sexual energy, because we have all of us, we have both the feminine and the masculine energy in us. We all have all this malish, I would just call it malish and femalish parts of us, but they call it feminine and masculine energy. So yes, there are times when I'm wearing sneakers. Even today, if I'm wearing sneakers and all that, there is this masculine energy that comes out of me, and then it's chacharach and all that. And then there are times where I'm just having my heels and I'm having my dress and I'm like, oh damn, right? I'm just this feminine, out of work of art, right? So, but then I am not there. What I'm talking about right now is that I knew it when I was 8. And along the way, I didn't care because I am a kid. I'm not even hitting puberty yet. It's like sexuality is a weird thing, because at the time when I was 8, it's not like I have already hit puberty, but I was just aware. I just knew it, right? Okay, the mysteries, I would just leave it to the universe. And then I knew it truly when I grew and I went to high school, and I was like, I'm in my teen years, and I'm like, this is the truth, because that's when I started having crushes and all that. And I'm like, she's pretty, things like that, right? And at the time also, I was in church, and I was like, I was not sure because still at the time I was not even seeing gay women. I was not seeing gay women around me. So there was not like, it feels familiar. And for me, I'd never heard this mind, reject, or this is not normal. And I just know this is like my truth, but then no one is doing it. So I'm just gonna keep quiet. I'm just gonna, settle down. But the thing is, the thing about who you are, you can only hide who you are to a certain extent. Obviously, there are some people that actually knew it. My brother knew it. It's like, and I'm sure other people, when they go back, they're like, oh, I think I saw that too. Even when I came out a couple of days ago on Facebook, people are like, oh, I saw that. Some are like, okay, I actually wanted to ask you. And it's like, it's there. So because you can only hide yourself to a certain point, right? So of course, although I didn't actively hide myself, I was just reserving, like I was just withdrawing a bit so that they don't really see. But there are certain parts I couldn't hide. So people, got proof of that. They saw that, right? So anyway, so I made a conscious decision when I was like 16 to say, I'm not going to date anybody. And for me, I used church, or I used religion, or I used God or the Bible as an excuse to say, oh, I'm just going to focus on my studies and I'm not going to be dating anybody. But I knew that, dating would mean I'm dating a girl, but I've never seen anything like that happening around here. So I'm just going to I'm focusing on my studies until I'm 21, right? So, and that's what happened. I just withdrew from the dating thing. I'm like, okay, and I didn't even care. So it's like this thing that I put out in the universe to say, God, please help me not to get into relationships. Please put them away. I don't want them around me. You see? Okay, fine. That happened. And it's not like me saying that happened doesn't mean that I switched off. I didn't see people. It's like your choice. I just made a choice to say that I'm not gonna actively involve myself in the dating game. So I'm just gonna be focused. No, somebody comes towards me and okay, no, and all that, right? And yeah, it happened. 21 years came and I realized, okay. But then at that time, at 21 years old, I was also preoccupied about other things and everything. But it doesn't mean that my sexual energy was not there, right? And the fact that sexuality is more than just, you dating, you being in a relationship or companionship or anything like that. Your sexuality also influences how you show up in the world because it's energy, right? So some of us, we need that, like I'm saying right now, from 2015 to 2017, that is the energy. And that is like, that energy, I recognize it today when I'm wearing my sneakers. And I feel like that's like my masculine energy coming out to play. That's like the childlike side of me that is coming out to play. So at times we need such energy to create stuff. Because when I'm in that zone, I'm working and I'm just going out there and I'm not afraid of anything. I'm fearless. So it has been instrumental in me creating stuff, in me achieving stuff, because that is like, yeah, we're doing it. I'm not scared of anything, right? So there is more to sexuality than just being in a relationship or having sex. Sexuality, if you go and do research about it, it's something powerful, right? So I don't want to get too much into it, but I just want to say that there is more to sexuality. There is more to just being heterosexual, trans person, to being a gay person, homosexual person, bisexual, and all that. There is more to your sexuality than just, being with somebody, being in a relationship, right? So for me, and it affected me at that point, at that extent, because now in retrospect, I realized that me hiding, me not fully embracing my sexuality actually sabotaged myself, right? Regardless of the fact that I was afraid of rejection, I was afraid of coming out and being seen, I was afraid of losing clients, I was afraid of what will people say and things like that, and just the unknown, the total unknown. Besides that the fact that I had real reasons why I took time, I actually sabotaged myself. Going back to 2018, my energy went down. I saw it through the text. I saw it through what have been my life at the time. And this is because that was the first time, like I said, you can only hide yourself, parts of you, to a certain extent, but to a certain extent. But there will come a time where now you are the person within you, the real you, will force itself out, will just erupt, and will not even care about your consent. And that's what had happened with me in 2018. So in 2018, I was squeezed out of church, right? Not that somebody said, oh, you're not allowed here. No, no, it was me. I knew it. It was my time to be free, right? So in 2018, two things happened. The first thing is that I came out accidentally to the person that I knew for over 5 years, who was like my bestie. This woman was my bestie and my big sister, and somebody who's like my mentor. It's like the person who knew how to be there for me by holding space for me. And I had a fallout with her. You know, everything was fine. Like, it's like we talked about everything and anything. And also at some point, I remember when I was still in high school, at some point, she actually called me out to say, are you sure that you're straight? Are you sure that you're not gay? And I actually, I was so defensive about it. And I pushed back because I was so scared to say, can actually people see this? Oh my God. So I was terrified. So for me, partly, I thought me being open to her to say, oh, I'm gay, she was gonna understand. It's like, oh, I know, man, I always knew. I was just waiting for you to just be yourself, right? But it didn't happen like that. We had a huge fallout, right? And it knocked me off my balance. It knocked me off my balance. That was the only person I would say I could talk to about anything and everything. And that was the first time now we're going to start talking to her about relationship stuff. You know, you need your big sister or that person, this is what's happening. Maybe you wanna organize something for your partner and you want somebody to give you some ideas and things like this. This was gonna be my person, you understand? So when I realized that it was that deep, that we actually had such a fallout because I am gay, it hurt me so much. But I'm glad later on, I think a year or two later, we actually got to come back together and we talked, we hashed it out and we talked, and I realized, okay, we cleaned it out. But at that point in time, it broke me. And it broke me it happened at the wrong time, because that was the time I was also leaving church. So I lost church that I knew for how many years? Was it 7 years actively? I think so. And this is the person that I knew for 5 years, over 5 years, actively, close. And these were my pillars. So I lost my pillars. So for me, it was if I lose church, and I was still having that thing, okay, if I lose church, what does it mean? What is God saying? Oh my goodness. I was still now I'm starting to battle. I'm battling with two things. I'm battling with my sexuality, which is saying now it's time, Kgadi, to be out and about and proud. Right? And now I'm battling also with my spirituality. I'm losing church. Church is what created some sort of a system, a framework for me to exist, to connect with God, to connect with spirituality. It gave me some sort of a foundation. It made sense for me. You know this, you know how you pray. I learned how to pray because church created a structure for me, religion created structure for me. So now I'm losing this thing. So what am I left with? I'm left with myself, and I'm frustrated and I'm depressed. So that was 2018. So how that affected me? If you check all this thing, me losing church, me losing people that were close to me and everything, it all boils down to me being gay, my sexuality, right? And I started spiraling out. Everything. I made mistakes. I made bad choices. I was depressed. I was alone. And yeah. And weirdly enough, 2018 was the year I was actually launching my book, publishing my book, My Beautiful Roller Coaster Journey. I love the book. And it was there. It was from the printers. I had the copies ready to sell and everything, but I was in no space to actually be on the forefront of it and plant the seed of possibility, because I needed to pay attention to me. that was the moment where I couldn't do, there was no alternative. You know, there is only so much. Like, you can try. When you hide a part of you, it's like when you're black. I'm black, right? If you hate being black, if you reject being black, you will never be happy in your life. If you're not happy with your skin color, if you're not happy with your body image, with your body, if you're not happy with the fact that you're short, like Iris not happy with being short, if you're not happy with the fact that, if you reject, or you're not happy with the fact that, with your story, like you were born poor, like, right? If you're not happy with it, you're rejecting that. If you're attaching some level of emotional dishonesty to your truth, you will never be happy. Even if they give you money, even as long as you're hiding a greater part of you, a greater part that makes your story full, like complete. If you're rejecting that thing, you'll never be truly happy. Not even lots of money can actually take it away. Not even. So if you're not happy with who you are, if you're not happy with where you are right now, if you're not honest with who you are and where you are right now, man, you will think about loyalty. You think about loyalty, but wait, you are bewitching yourself because you're rejecting yourself. I'm repeating this. We are on earth to fulfill our soul's purpose. And to fulfill our soul's purpose is to evolve into our most highest and truest expression of ourselves. So you have to be authentic. And a person would ask, how do I become authentic? How do I be myself? You know, there is a gut feel. I repeat this thing. Your gut is your God. So you always know the truth. It's just that maybe you're practicing silencing it, going against yourself. You know when you're not supposed to be signing the deal. You know when you're not supposed to be hanging out with those people or that person. You know when you're not supposed to be eating that plate in front of you, but you just dismiss it. That's how you go against yourself. That's how you go against God. Because your God is your God. So going against yourself, going against your truth, going against your God, going against a God, is gonna make your life spiral out. I'm gonna make this example. You see, I've been reading this thing, like I've been seeing this thing, people saying that your calling would frustrate you, would make you lose stuff, will make you sick. And I see this thing with people who are called in traditional healing to become sangomas. And people, they actually believe this thing that your calling make you sick. That is not true at all. If you're being called, let's say for example in the case of sangomas, if you're being called to be a sangoma and you spiral out, you have relapses, you even get checked in psychiatric institutions and all that, it's not because your calling is making you sick. What's making you sick is you not surrendering to yourself, is you being far away from who you truly are. You're not accepting who you are. You're running away from yourself. And you can only run so much to a certain extent. But the thing is, man, life or yourself or God will bring you back, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. And it's not God doing those things to you. It's yourself. So, because everything boils down to your choices, right? So when you know, the thing about knowing is that the moment you know, you can't unknow it, right? So in 2018 for me, I knew it was time. I knew when I was 8 that I was gay. And it's like I asked for a list to say, okay, I'm still a kid. I'll see it when I'm mature enough and I understand what is happening. So in 2018, I was mature enough and I knew I was exposed and okay. But now, Kgadi, now that you know and you're an adult, you cannot afford to go in hiding again. And if you're going to go into hiding, we're going to fight. I was blocking myself. So the same thing with people who are saying they're getting sick because their calling makes them sick is because you just can't, you need to surrender to yourself. You're not surrendering to a call or someone or some call has been imposed on you. Your calling is the call on your life, is your soul's purpose. It's what your soul decided to say, when I come on earth, this is what I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to accomplish on earth. I'm going to heal humanity. We are all here to heal the human race, to heal humanity, right? To heal, to have balance with nature, right? So if you had this contract with yourself when you came on earth to say, I'm going to heal people, I'm going to heal people through teaching or through bones, divination, or whatever it is, or if it's a reincarnation thing that calls you towards healing people, man, you cannot negotiate with that. And what will bruise you, what was going to hit you, it's yourself. For example, with myself, I don't know how to lie. I can lie, right? But I can't lie. I can lie, but I can't lie. Okay, let me explain that. It is easy to lie, to say, oh, what's your name? My name is whatever, and give you the wrong name and everything like that, right? But for me, whenever I lie, there's a consequence. I have trained myself. It's how I'm wired. If I lie about something, I'm going to get a consequence. It's like, I can't lie. It's like, if I go against myself, I know there will be a consequence to that. I'm preview of that. I know that is going to happen. Because I have built this relationship with myself for a very long time, since I was a kid, since I actually even knew what was happening in the world. I just think that's how I was brought up on earth. I had this relationship with myself where I knew what was right and wrong. And along the way, as I grew up, and then I learned to negotiate with my gut feel. That is like my weapon, my gut feel. And I started just, I won't do this thing. What will people say? Things like that. So for me at this point in time, like I said, once you know, you cannot unknow. Once you know the truth about life, about certain things, you can't unknow it. And you're gonna be prone to consequences. You're gonna get a beating, a hiding if you know something and then you do something that is not there. It's one thing to not know that you're making a mistake. It's another when you see, you feel it, you know it, like, oh my God, I'm getting myself into this thing. You're going to get banned. And not by anybody. It's not like by a lawyer. You are lawyering yourself because it's your truth. It's your person, the person that is you, inside of you. It's in its purest form. And again, you are here to live out your purpose, your soul purpose, right? So you need to understand that there's your soul in here. That's you. That's your truest you. Me here, what you see, what I'm doing is just the means. It's just me trying. The trick here is in deciphering and decoding and listening to my soul's yearnings and what my soul is calling me to do at this point in time. You understand? And doing it. It's like your gut feel. Your gut feel now is telling you that, you know what? You need to be calling someone. And now people have a name for it. It's called telepathy and everything. And the person will like, oh my God, I was just thinking about you. Oh, how did you know? We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So the tricky thing as human beings, what we need to do is to learn to honor our spirits, our souls, to honor that intuitive feel, that small voice, the God's whispers, whatever name you gave it. All right. So going back to 2018, that was the time where now I could no longer hide. I did hide for a very long time consciously since I was 16. Consciously, I hid when I was 16 consciously until I was 21. And then, okay, I was like, okay, fine. And then 2018 was the year that I could no longer continue life, not being myself fully. Right? And that's when I started just spiraling out. And the coming out came about. And I came out to certain people. And then the whole thing of losing people started. And it terrified me. And I think that's why actually, it led to the point where now, I waited now 3 years later. I just came out publicly to the world a couple of days ago, right? On social media, across all my social media pages. So at that point in time, this is what, in retrospect, I'm deciphering, I'm realizing. For as long as I was not myself, and I said it in that release where I came out to say, and thanks to Jerome, because if it was not for that post, I don't think I would have made that, tick that lip. until you are fully yourself, you can never fully truly be happy. You can never fully achieve success at the level you're supposed to be achieving it. You can never fully unleash your fullest potential. There will always be blockages, because this is what is happening. Life responds to energy, right? Life responds to energy. I know there are people who connected, who actually got the vibe at times when I was not myself. There was a mentor of mine who once told me this thing that, Kgadi, there is something that is blocking. There's something that you're not putting forth on the table. You're an authentic being. We know that, I see that, but there's something that is blocking you from just being out there. When I was talking myself out of opportunities and then sabotaging myself, canceling on things and not meeting with people, I was hiding. And when you do those things, I'm sabotaging my success, because meeting with that person, I knew it was going to open doors for me. There are great opportunities that I knew I wanted, but I didn't want to put myself out there, because putting myself out there meant I had to be fully myself. I needed to be a gay woman, a gay business strategist, a gay speaker. Sometimes even in conservative spaces, or in spaces where like people are just like messed up. You don't know, man. You don't know. So it's like a vulnerable thing. It's like you need to be brave. You need to brave the wilderness, right? So for me, looking back, truly, I know that certain things I wanted to achieve, certain things I wanted to do, I couldn't do them. Some of them I felt like they were sabotaged. But truly, 99% of them were done because I was not 100% myself. The energy that I gave out to the universe, that one, it was not 100%. The percent of hiding who I am, of not embracing the fact that I was gay, I was rejecting a part of me. And how could God, how could the universe, how could favor, how could grace give me this thing if I'm just rejecting? I'm shame. I have this shame about who I am. How could my soul work on my behalf, meet me halfway, help me reach all these things? How could God, how could the Creator give me all these things? I'm hiding myself because there are people who are waiting for me to connect with my truth. Because I believe this thing, in sharing your story, in being who you truly are, you're making others feel less alone. I know that I actually realized it later after coming out, and one of the person who commented on my Facebook post, they said that one of the people was a parent, was like, oh, the parent also like has a suspect that their daughter could actually be gay. And it was like, oh, you're actually even you are empowering me. You coming out like this is empowering me to embrace her, should it happen that she is actually gay, right? And the other one said, like, right now you are saving someone. Both the parents who are having a gay person, they're battling with, how do I embrace this being who is different? How do I continue like embracing this kid who is gay in a conservative space, in this society where like they still hate crime? How do I now be brave enough to do this thing, right? And there's someone who said there is a gay kid who's out there is like, oh my God, I'm going to do it too. I'm going to be myself too. So you understand? So can you imagine? Because I'm not taking this thing for granted that there are people who are following me. There are people who look up to me. So I'm not taking that for granted ever, 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 right? So can you imagine if I didn't come out? If I didn't come out and I hid this part of me? Any person who was liberated, who was inspired, who was empowered by the fact that I took this leap of faith, man, I was shaking when I wrote that post. I was shaking. I was super scared because I'm like, being brave, being courageous, it's like, man, I'm putting it out there without no attachments, without expectations of acceptance. I'm just putting it out there. There's a possibility that I can be rejected harshly and being crushed. There's a possibility of being embraced, and I'm so grateful that what I received was a beautiful embrace. A beautiful embrace, love is what I felt. And I was always so scared of being accepted or tolerated. I don't want to be accepted or tolerated, because that means that you're not embracing me. You're not embracing how different I am. You are just tolerating me. But if we dig deep, tolerance means that, you know what? It's like you have reservations. So it seems like you can actually even take out the Bible and start condemning me. You can actually even start, even if somebody gave you a chance to kill me, you would. Don't tolerate me. We don't tolerate people. We tolerate the traffic outside. We tolerate the weather that we don't like. People, we embrace them with how different they are. And it's not about the gay people, the gay community, or the LGBTI community. It's about the different races, right? It's about women, embracing women, right? It's about embracing people living with disabilities. It's about embracing people who look different from you. You embrace them. Embracing them, it's like a hug. You're embracing them. It's a heart-to-heart thing. It's love. Unconditional. It's not tolerance. It's not acceptance. I accept you. Support people in their individuality, in their difference, in how diverse they are. Support them. You do not accept them. You do not tolerate them, because those words come with reservations. You're doing it not because you are like, it's like when you meet somebody, you're not surprised. Don't be surprised by people who look different from you. You're not supposed to be surprised, because we are all different, and difference is our strength. It's like being short and somebody being tall. Of course, when you see the tallest person ever for the first time, to be like, oh, this person is tall. And stop right there. The person is tall. You see that. See them for who they are. They are tall. And from there, engage with people from a place of love. That's the universal language. Love. And you taking out the Bible and condemning people, or you using certain things, or you projecting your fear on others, that is not love. You're actually even scared. And it's okay to be scared, or to be scared of the unknown. But really, for me, what I was scared of when I came out was that I love you. You're still my daughter. Of course, you're my daughter. I love you. Of course, you are my friend. No. Don't love me because of conditions of the fact that I'm your daughter or your friend or I'm smart. Love me for who I am. Love people for who they are. And that's something that I feel like we need to get right. And I hope, even in conservative spaces, even people who are like battling with, because obviously in the village, in my community, there's not like gay people, right? And obviously when something new comes, it's not every person who would just start hugging, right? Some people react to certain things that are new to them differently. Some people get so scared. And for those that took this thing, maybe if you were taught that a gay person is a demon, that's what you're gonna operate from that place, but that is not true. Right? You're condemning. So it's like you're hurting a soul. You're not operating from a place of love, right? So it is okay to see somebody who is different from you, who is albino, who is living albinism, who has a particular skin condition, and you see them for the first time and you're taking a little bit aback, and then please snap out of it. If you cannot, identify with that, if it's like, oh, this is the first time, your first instinct shouldn't be to push it back or to project your fears onto that person or whatever the situation you see. If you cannot at that point in time operate from love, which is like unconditional love, where you don't even make people feel like they're different or they are like, oh my God. It happens normally oftentimes with people who live with disabilities. People are like, ooh, it's like you have this reaction. We don't want the reaction. They're not looking for the reaction because they don't want to feel like they're different, they're treated differently. Love. Operate from a place of love, right? Operate from the place of love. Embrace. And if you want to ask what that is, go to my Facebook and just scroll down to the post where I said I am gay for immediate release, and read through the posts. I'm telling you, I am one with a built-in lie detector and a BS detector, right? And I could have detected any person who didn't mean it. I went through that. I saw love. That is the love that I'm talking about. No questions asked. No some ulterior motives. No fakeness. Just embrace. People pouring their hearts out. And I felt that I belong. And I felt less alone. And I felt loved. And I felt so empowered and inspired to be myself. So the key thing that I was talking about right now was rejecting yourself, hiding a part of you, not staying true to yourself, lying to yourself, going against yourself. It's not going to hurt anybody. Of course, you're going to deny the world of the true you, but you're going to hurt yourself. In terms of you manifesting the love that you want, and I still commend Jerome for that post, because that is so true. He said it until I became gay publicly. People started identifying with that. People identify with your true self. When you're not yourself, people pick that up. The people who did the soul work and the spirit work, people who are tuned, they can pick up when you're lying, right? So, and even opportunities, they respond to energy. So if you're not truly yourself, if you have like some manga business going on, man, this universe, this God is not like stupid. It can pick it up, and you can only fake it for, to a certain extent until you burn out. If you're faking it out there, say for example on social media, you're faking who you are and everything. But you do know that when you're in hiding, when you're alone, it hits you that you're actually projecting who you're not. You're projecting, you're feeding people out there who is not you. But it is biting you back when you're struggling when you're depressed, when you cannot even afford the lifestyle that you want, that you're projecting out there, because now that's what you're feeding people and they're accustomed to that. Now you can't stop, but you can. You're afraid of stopping because, oh my God, they're gonna find out, they're gonna see me. So that is basically like being gay and hiding. That's just being gay and hiding. So if you're projecting the life that is not fully you, whether you've edited it or you're hiding something, you can never truly achieve all that is meant for you. You can never manifest all those visions that you have because you're sabotaging yourself. I've seen it. I'm seeing it. And right now I'm thinking, oh my God, this is like the first week as a free person, right? I am gay and I don't even have shame when I say this thing. And I'm like, I can actually go back to doing some of the things that I wanted to do, but I was scared of doing because I was still gay. And some of the decisions that I've been making were just me hiding and sabotaging myself. And I realized that, oh my God, I actually love doing this. I love teaching people. I love personal development, self-mastery, the healing work, more than I actually love working on business plans and doing business and things like that. And I'm like, I'm actually considering doing the switch. I'm thinking about it. So I'm just trying to find a way to balance the two, because I really want to go back to being Kgadi, the possibilitarian, the person who planted the seed of possibility, helping people do the self-work and everything, because I want to see people achieving their dreams and all that. And now at this point, I have grown too. Now I have grown in the business space too, the business development. So in my pursuit of helping people achieve their dreams, I can actually even help others manifest their business visions. You understand? So I'm trying to figure out what now, because there's no doubt that for the past 26 years of my life, there are certain things that I couldn't do because I was gay. There are certain things I couldn't achieve because I was gay. Because I was hiding, not because I was gay and being gay is wrong, but because I was hiding. So I was sabotaging myself. You understand? So this is like me the first time. This is the first time I'm meeting this person who is free. Maybe it's the kid me, because the kid me was gay and was not bothered by that, was not hiding until I was 16 and I started getting bothered. You understand? So I need to connect to that energy. I need to connect to that spirit. I need to connect to that person that is just, hey, I'm gay and I'm free, and I'm gay who is a business strategist, who is excellent, who is doing the personal development work, who has books, who wants to go on tours, who wants to speak to people. If you check, if you check on YouTube, if you check my life also, I was super afraid of even doing this video. And when people ask me, I was afraid of going live and everything. And I'm gonna just go out and spill the beans. I was not scared of going live, of being behind the video, because I was not comfortable in front of the video, or I felt like, oh, I didn't look good or things like that. No. It's because I felt like I was just revealing a part of me. Somebody's gonna find out. Some people have some gators, and what if I say something they just said, like, this one is gay? So I was just doing everything that I could to hide myself. So you can imagine that I've actually denied myself to do the things that I love to do, to work on projects that I love to do, like creating content, because I was just afraid of being seen. I was hiding the fact that I was gay. So you can imagine that I've denied myself of success, of fulfillment. That's quite a sacrifice. It's not worth it. Looking back, it's not worth it. Because now I have to work with unlearning. I need to now, I've eroded my mental health because of hiding, right? So I need to now start taking care of myself. So it's like, man, it's not worth it. So if you are out there and you're not comfortable with yourself, you're hiding a part of you, you're hiding your truth, you're lying to yourself, stop it. Whatever it is, it may not even be about the fact that you're gay. If you're not comfortable with being black or young or thin or thick or, tall, short, if you're not comfortable, if you're hiding, or you're not comfortable, or you're lying to yourself, or you're not embracing the fact that you were born you're living in the village, or that you live in a tin house, or whatever it is that you're not comfortable with, that thing, you're denying the truth. That level of emotional dishonesty is what is holding you back. Is the reason why you're trapped. Is the reason why the financial success, whatever career success, the opportunities are holding back, they're being held back. Because energy, the universe is responding to your energy. If you're holding back, it's going to hold back. So you need to stop drinking it away, that truth. You need to stop projecting it away with your fake life on social media or fake life in the world. Stop doing that. You need to stop smoking it away, using drugs it away, sexing it away, eating it away, working it away. Stop doing all those things to just hide your pain. Stop doing that. Because I'm telling you, like, I'm speaking here from a point of vulnerability, that it's not worth it. Right now, it's like just a quick fix. It's something that helps you to hide for a time being. But there will come a time where the bleeding that you've been trying to hide, it's just gonna, there will be an eruption. And in that point in time, going back to 2018, in that point in time, you have two choices. You embrace who you are, or you just want to die. Be away off the face of the earth. You'll want to die because you can't take it anymore. You either want to die or you're going to embrace it. So you're going to have two choices. So today, I'm imploring you. Take it from me. Take it from me. It's not worth it. If you've ever you were waiting for validation or confirmation or something to, a hand holding, this is it. This is the hand holding. That's how far I could get at this point in time to say. Even recording this video, it's a bit out of my comfort zone talking about these things because I'm making myself more and more vulnerable. But that's what it's going to take for me to be truly happy. That's what it's going to take for me to just manifest the things that I want. Because buried in each and every one of our hearts is a knowing of what we truly want and truly can get and can achieve. But like Jerome said, You have to come out to yourself fully and truly. And coming out to yourself, it's not necessarily about coming out as gay. It's coming out about the truth about you. Coming into that peace, confronting it. Your story, Michelle Obama at the back of his book. Here it is. Let me read it. Yeah. I'm just going to read it now. All right. I'm just going to read everything, but because I want to see something at the end. Oh, okay. She's saying there's a lot I still don't know about America, about life, about what the future might bring. But I do know myself. My father Fraser taught me to work hard, love often, and keep my word. My mother Marion showed me how to think for myself and to use my voice. Together in our cramped apartment of the south side of Chicago, they helped me see the value in our story. In my story. In the largest story of our country. Even when it's not pretty or perfect. Even when it's more real than you want it to be. Your story is what you have and what you will always have. It is something to own. I'm going to repeat this. This is the part. This is becoming, right? Becoming, right? So it's even when it's not pretty or perfect, even when it's more real than you want it to be, your story is what you have, what you always have. It is something to own. My story is that I'm gay at this point in time, right? It is mine. It is more real than I want it to be, but not that I would actually like. In retrospect, although I had difficulties as a gay person navigating and just the struggles that I've heard, but I wouldn't trade it for anything else. I'm happy that I'm gay and I wouldn't even change it at all. So your story, whatever it is, whether right now you don't have money, like you are broke, you are living in a tin house, or you can't afford, or you are depressed, or you're abused, or you are terrified, whatever your story is, or you're black, or you're afraid, you don't like how you look, whatever it is, whatever the story it is, that story is yours. It is more real. It may not be perfect, but it is more real. And if you reject that story, you're rejecting yourself. And when you reject yourself, you're creating blockages in your life. And when you create blockages in your life, happiness, you will draw it. You will never fully get it. You will never fully experience it. Those dreams that you have of manifesting, you can get a job. Somebody might be saying, but I have my job, I'm getting money. But we all know that there is something that you want. It is costing you something. You cannot be a firefighter in your life forever. Because that's what you become. When you're hiding a part of you, you become a firefighter. You don't want to be seen. You make sure that everything is perfect for another person, but at the expense of you. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who is left with the truth. And you're facing it face to face. I'm like, it hurts you. When you're projecting who you're not in the world, when you're projecting the life that is not yours, that you're not living, at the end of the day, when you come back home and you're unhappy, that is your truth. And what it will take for you to stop being unhappy is if you confront it and embrace it. Take it as it is. Admit it. I am gay. Admit it. I'm broke. I'm not coping. I'm not comfortable with 1, 2, 3. Right? There is power in confronting stuff. This is the book. This is the first book that I actually read for the first time. The first book I've ever read is by Paula White. I think, is it Deal With It? I think it's Deal With It. The thing. Deal With It is the first book. I think I read it when I was in, high school. I don't know. Grade 8, grade 7, I don't remember. It's like the earliest time I read this book, all of it, and I learned this thing. This is the first thing on the chapter. It's saying, you see, it doesn't even have the thing, but it's my book. This is the book that built me, and it says you cannot conquer what you will not confront. If you cannot confront the fact that you're broke, the fact that you're hurt, the fact that you're depressed, the fact that you need help, the fact that you're gay, the fact that you whatever it is that you're hiding. if you cannot face the truth, if you cannot tell yourself the truth, you're trapping yourself. And you will draw a fully meaningful, happy, fulfilled life, full of possibilities. You're gonna draw it. You won't see it. You won't see it. And I'm not kidding you. Because right now, although I am so happy and proud that finally I did it, I'm here. And I'm here. I have nothing to hide. I know that there's still a lot of work that I need to do. Like I said earlier on, that I need to reassess my career journey, the projects that I'm working on, what I'm doing in terms of my line of work, because this is what I love to do. I've always been the person who is all about planting the seed of possibility in other people's lives, creating possibilities. That is my thing. Although for a brief movement in the business space, I'm doing that. Although in this business space, through Kgadi Consulting, I am helping people with manifesting their entrepreneurial visions and everything. But really, 80% of the time, if not 100% of the time, I want to be planting that seed of possibility. I want to be in a teaching mode, in a facilitating mode, in a holding space for other people mode, in a healing mode where I feel like when you leave my space, when I leave you, there is more clarity, you're more inspired, there is possibilities in your mind, there is change in your life. That's what I want to do. So I'm not happy. I was not happy, and some of the clients will attest to these. And this is the moment where I actually become vulnerable and tell the truth. This thing became so hard, like being gay and hiding it became troublesome for me to a point whereby I started spiraling out in business. I started disappointing clients. I started not even liking to do the work that I am great at, doing those business plans, doing the work. I started getting into debt, fighting with clients, owing clients money. The key thing was the fact that it was not because the universe was against me or they're bewitching me. It was because the call was coming too much for me. The fact that I was delaying, I was procrastinating being free, I was not free. And people may say it doesn't make sense, but you know it. You know it if you're hiding, how it gets so hard for you. So for me, I was idle. Being in Kgadi Consulting and doing the business thing, it was like, it just preoccupied me, right? And it gave me an excuse to not be out there and about because I loved working from home. But really, I am supposed to be meeting with people, listening to people's stories, helping them process their emotions and facilitate self-mastery, making sense of stuff, talking to people. That's me. But guess what? I can't be out there and talking to people, going on tours and doing all these things, having interviews. I started even, putting red on interviews. I was invited into interviews and I refused them. That's how it got. So yeah, it sabotaged me. So it got to a point whereby everything that was like my excuse, whatever I used as my excuse, it started just tumbling down, just spiraling out, so that I could pay attention to myself. It was time, Kgadi, to be gay. To say it was time for you to be gay, it's not like I was not gay. It just means that you have to face this thing, Kgadi, and say, I am gay. And for you, Kgadi, you lied to yourself to say, it doesn't matter when they don't know. But it matters because you can't hide. You don't know how to hide. You don't know how to put up a mask. And going out to the people, still hiding a part of you, means you have to perform to people. Means you have to restrict yourself in certain spaces. You don't know how to do that. You want to be fully present. You cannot be fully present, Kgadi, if you're hiding that you're gay. Hence, I've been restricting. There was pride. There was events social spaces I wanted to be in. I couldn't do none of that. But because it meant I need to be out and about and never look back. I was not ready. But I'm glad now it happened. And for me, like I said, the key thing with this video, man, whatever it is, you need to come out of your closet. Your closet for the gay community, for people who are gay or belong to the LGBTQ plus community, coming out of the closet means a different thing to a person who needs to come out of the fact that they don't like their life. They're lying to themselves. There's a reason why you are addicted to whatever you are addicted to. You're addicted to drugs or drinking or smoking or sex or eating or working too hard because you're running away from something. Face it. Face that particular thing and you will see it will change your life. I've said it before that no one is coming to save you. Now, I went on to say there is hope. You can save yourself. There's a video that I did about spiritual awakening where you can use those moments to pay attention to what you can use, where you need to be paying attention, what you need to be paying attention to change your life. Right now, I'm saying to you that to change your life, to heal your life, to break the cycle of suffering and addiction or pain or whatever it is, the frustration and depression. Right now, you need to face the truth. You need to stop running away from the truth. Your truth. You need to forget about us, other people out there. First, you need to come out to yourself. The process of coming out, the process of conquering, start with you, going face to face with it. With me coming out, I couldn't just come out to the world and then, even that's why I was super scared and terrified when people called me out on being gay, before I could even come out to myself, before I could actually embrace and accept myself and embrace myself and realize like, oh man, this is who I am. You understand? So you need to come out to yourself first. Are you gifted? Do you have a calling on your life? Stop running from it. Are you hiding from something? Are you living a lie? Stop running from that. Confront that thing and stop living a lie. Are you not coping? Are you depressed? Do you need help? Accept that you need help. Face the fact that you need help. Face the fact that you're not doing okay. And the tool that you need, that you're gonna need in your journey, is your gut. Your gut feel. If you want to know the right next move, listen to your gut feel. Some of you see visions. You know the truth, man. Like all the answers that you want is within you. They're all within you. What you need is to pay attention. What you need to stop performing. Stop performing in the world. Stop performing because, oh my God, people don't care. And people, you're gonna die. Performing will lead you to an early death. Depression kills. Performing all the time kills. Sabotaging yourself kills. You're going to spiral out. And you will find yourself one day out of the rope. And you want to die. And you're going to die. Stop doing that. Stop getting yourself killed. Stop denying yourself of happiness. Stop denying yourself of being happy. Stop denying yourself of manifesting the life that was meant for you, the life that you know in your heart that you want to live. No one was born to just suffer and die, right? That's the thing. And you're not here. You're not here to hide who you are. The way you are, the artist that is the creator, knit you together to be that package here on earth with all the imperfections, with all the flaws. You're meant to be that person. So stop rejecting that. Stop rejecting that. If you don't like long hair, cut it. But if you don't like that you're short, what are you gonna do? If you don't like that you're gay, what are you gonna do? You can't change those things. You can't change that if you don't like your skin color. Of course, people are gonna say that they're gonna go bleach your skin, things like that. There is cosmetic surgeries that you can undergo and everything, right? But man, only a few can do that. Your option is to stay true to yourself. Be yourself. Stay true to yourself. Live out loud. Live out the person that you know you are. Okay, I think this is where I gotta stop. Like I said, you can only hide a part of who you are for a certain period, right? But just know every time you negotiate with your gut feel, every time you go against yourself, you sabotage yourself, you stand in your own way, you're creating a bad karma on you. You're sabotaging yourself. You're trapping yourself. You're creating blockages in your life. The life that you want, the things that you want to achieve. There are certain things you can achieve. There are certain things, there's a level you won't get to until you heal your life. You break out of the cycle of lying to yourself, sabotage and everything, until you become who you truly are. You face the truth. You accept your truth. Stop. It's like rewriting your past. I know that I said I was stopping, but it's like when you were born poor, right? Poverty, right? Where you don't have food, you struggled. It's like when you're born in that situation, that is your story. Michelle Obama is saying it is your story, no matter how real and how imperfect it is your story, and you have to own it. So if you reject, if you're not embracing, if you are like, oh my God, you avoid at all cost to admit that you were born poor, or you were hurt, or you're living in a house that is still struggling, there's still poverty right now, you're barely making ends meet. If you're running away from that truth, you will not get truth from the universe, because what you're sending out is coming back to you. If you're sending out bad vibes out in the world, dishonesty out in the world, you're gonna attract dishonesty into your life. If you're holding back, the universe is gonna hold back on you. So what it takes, the magic really, beside what the people are saying about the law of attraction, all these stuff that are happening out there, this education, really the key basic thing is that you need to be honest with yourself. You need to be true to yourself. You need to project outside what is true in you. If you have anger, don't say I'm happy. You have anger and then you're like, I'm happy. You're going to kill somebody because you're not admitting that you have anger. Say you have anger, somebody will listen, will get your help. Say you're not okay. Do not pretend that you are okay when you're not okay. Because when you project that you're okay and you're lying, oh, people are going to take it at face value. Very few people are going to pick it up to say you're lying. Tell me more. What's up? What's going on? Some people don't have the time. But sometimes it's just the universe withholding on you because you're not ready, because you're playing, right? You're playing around. Stop playing around. Admit it. Have the key thing, the best thing you can ever do for your life, for you, is emotional honesty. Stop lying. You can lie to the world, but never to yourself. And this only, to a certain extent, you can only lie to the world to a certain point. There comes a time whereby your truth is what you also project out in the world. Ideally, we should be projecting our real truth in the world. Take it or leave it. That's how it works. You put yourself out there. You become brave enough to put yourself out there. They reject you. They filter off. What sticks, sticks. What doesn't stick. But that's how it's supposed to be. But if you are chasing, being fitting in, belonging and all that, we are all seeking to belong. We're all yearning for that connection. It's in our human nature. We want that thing. But there is your tribe out there. There will be people that will reject you. But you cannot take your life and put it in their hands. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. I am gay. I came out, right? I received this embrace, a huge embrace and love from people. I won't lie to myself and say, I won't meet people who are going to denounce me, who are going to condemn me, because I see it out there, right? But my prayer is that I don't meet such people, or it doesn't affect me, because I'm in a space where now I'm empowered and inspired to be my true self, and I know that I found love. There is love. It's like I belong. So differences will always be there. People will be there when you come out to yourself to say, actually the life that I am projecting to the world is not my life. I can't afford it. And you now scale down and you start living your true self within your means and everything. There will be people that will like, oh, she's been lying, or he's been lying to us all along, he's been fake, oh my God, Shapila Kilfasi, things like that. But there will be people who connect to that. You're gonna inspire people who are still trapped in that. And there will also be people who are like, I know what that feels like, I've been there. You understand? So you cannot have the whole world as your audience that is just clapping for you. It doesn't work like that. That's not how it is. It will never be like that. There will only be moments where all the audience in the space, these are your tribe, because that's when you choose. But there are times you can't choose. For example, as a speaker, when I go somewhere to speak, and there will be conservative people, right? So I can't just like now stop speaking because there are people who are conservative and who do not embrace homosexuality. They have their own reasons, which is institutions like religion or their church. You understand? So that is their thing. I can't challenge that necessarily, right? But although the wish would be one love, let's love each other, the universal language, love, embrace each other, but I can't just be trapping myself, holding myself back because I'm afraid that in the audience somewhere, this person is looking at me somehow. I was scared at the time to do that because I hadn't really embraced myself at the time. But now, the only ally that I need is myself. The only ally that you need is yourself. When you're starting to do something and you're brave in the wilderness and you're like, I'm doing this thing, it's not going to be easy, it's not going to be comfortable, it's scary, you're scared. Make sure that your ally is you. The first ally is you. Before you go on and people embrace you, embrace yourself first. Embrace your truth. Embrace your truth. You can only, you can hide it for a time being. But don't run out of time, because at some point, whatever you use to hide who you truly are will no longer work, and there will be an eruption in your life. You're going to spiral out, and there will be two choices. At this point in time, you just become yourself, terrified, like I did, and I'm like, I'm gay, right? It's either going to do that or call your family and say, I'm not doing well in Cape Town or in Joburg or whatever. It will be that moment where like now, it's like you're going against something that you said, I will never do this thing. Or you're going to say, guys, I'm suicidal. Or guys, I'm not doing it. Like, guys, I need help. It will come that time whereby you can't even negotiate with that thing that you're supposed to be doing. It's either you do it or you're dying at that moment. You don't want to get there. You don't want to get there. Trust me, you don't want to get there. Because all these two choices that you have all the time, they're all scary. Because this is the time where, although the killing yourself, it's like an option, it scares you. You don't necessarily want to end it all. You don't necessarily want to end it all. But that's my choice. You can't deal. You are scared, but you don't know that the power at that moment when you in the context of you rejecting yourself and lying to yourself, the chance you have, the only option you have, the only magic miracle there. Deep breath. Guys, I've been lying to myself. Talk to yourself. I've been lying to myself. Oh, I'm barely making it. I'm not coping. Things like that. You tell yourself those truths. Just like you're speaking to a therapist. If you've never been to therapy, just speak your truth like you're speaking to somebody that you trust. If it's God, put God there, and then you sit and you speak the truth that you are even afraid, terrified of telling the world, even your closest people. Say it out loud, because it loses power the moment you confront it. Like Paula White is saying, you cannot conquer what you will not confront. When you confront it, when you face it, it loses power over you. This is not like some voodoo magic. This is like the magic that is within your power. This is about power, claiming your power, getting your power back. You face the truth. You're like, I am hurt. I'm struggling. I am this is happening, I'm not comfortable with this. The moment it loses power, it's like when you say, I can do this. When you say, I can do this, the power in the tongue, when you say, I can do this, the mind starts finding ways on how you can do it. When you say, I am hurt, The universe will conspire to help you heal, to help you find solutions to whatever you're battling with. This is not some magic where you need a spiritual healer, a sit down. This is the power that you came with on earth. It's just that some of us, we lose this power because we get too accustomed to the world and the society, the beliefs, the things that they impose on us, and then we lose our power, the gut feel. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and all the answers we ever need, they say travel within you. They're just simply saying, listen to that voice. Train yourself to listen to that voice. When they say meditate and tune out, they're saying forget, like switch off all the things that somebody said to you, what you've learned. Surrendering just means like forget what you know, and then access that greater intelligence within you, in your God, which is your God. I'm just gonna stop here, but I'm looking forward to hanging out here and just planting the seed of possibility, one video at a time, one platform at a time, one voice at a time, one book at a time. And yeah, I hope at some point in this video there was a seed that was planted. There was an aha moment that one of you experienced. And the good thing about content is that it tends to meet you at the time that you need it. Thank you.